Hello, this is Brother Teacher again. This message is for big boys and big girls, adults. You need to pull up your bootstraps right now, put on your big girl and big boy pants and panties, and get ready to be scolded a little bit. But how should I say, admonished as well. Hold on, I'll be right back. Donald Trump, as most of you know, is now, you may as well call him the president, even though he hasn't been sworn in as of yet. He's the president elect, but he's the president. Now, there's a whole lot of discontent, a whole lot of rallying and protesting going on all over the United States, blacks and whites, as to his legitimacy as the new chief of this country, commander in chief, I should say more properly. But it is what it is. And if you watched my previous videos, the night before he actually won that election, I said that he was going to be the winner above Hillary. And lo and behold, he was. Just go back and watch the videos. Anyway, this video is mainly for blacks because even though Donald Trump has had a lot of support from blacks, there are many blacks I've heard talking about he's a racist. They're going to go back to Africa. They're moving to Mexico or another country because it's going to be really, really hard for blacks to survive in America, considering what we have already undergone as black people, and considering the fact that Obama has done something in his 2 terms for virtually everyone else except us. Now, that's a declaration that I just made because I agree with everything that I just said, because Obama has done nothing for us. Now, with that said, black folks, listen to me very carefully. If Donald Trump, who is a Republican, and the House is basically run by Republicans now, and the Republicans also have the Senate. And we know how it was during the Bush regime, or Bushes, and the Reagan regime, and how most Republicans are. They don't like social programs. They don't like Social Security even, if the truth be told. They don't like welfare and subsidized programs to help the poor and the downtrodden and so on and so forth. We know this. But many of you have probably heard other people say this before. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you've heard me say it before, but I'm going to say it to you again. Get yourselves together and stop being the victims. Yes, we were victims, and as it stands today, you don't have to be a victim if you don't want to. We are spoiled to a great degree. Yes, we've been done wrong. We have been disenfranchised ever since our ancestors were brought to this continent. And we are their lineage, we are their descendants, and we still are not treated equal to whites. And this is not an indictment against all whites. I am talking about the people who hallmarked the term, if you will, white supremacy, and who still believe in their hearts that black people are beneath them and second class citizens. Those are the whites that I'm referring to. They still do exist. Now, be that as it may, what you should do, black people, is you need to learn to try to unify with one another. We do, collectively. We need to unite. It's okay to have a rally. It's okay to boycott. But because we don't have the financial backing, we don't have the economy as blacks to fight against those who are greater than us as far as the powers that be. So we must fight a little bit more strategically. In other words, stop spending your money on just things. Stop living from paycheck to paycheck. Learn financial responsibility. Learn financial science. Learn the value of a dollar. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Stop trying to copy everything that you see on BET and watching what the rappers wear and scantily clad black women dancing in the videos are wearing, and paying homage to all of these white industries and these white corporations and buying their products, but they're not doing anything for you to further your agenda. Now, if you don't have an agenda, this is what your agenda should be. You want to be in control of your own destiny. And if you're not in control of your own destiny, no matter how much you talk about it, if you're not acting upon it, then it's just rhetoric. It is empty. It means absolutely nothing. It's small talk. It's barbershop and beauty shop conversation. Okay? Every time you get paid, if you're working a job, or whatever your income happens to be, you should save at least 10%. Uncle Sam, the government, takes their money first from you before you ever see your paycheck. FICA, state, federal, Social Security, city tax, and so on and so on. So once you receive your paycheck, you take off of the top, and then what's left, you allocate that to your bills. Now, I don't know what every single human being's responsibilities are and what your bills are. Only you know that. So you be smart. You be the architect of your own life. Stop making excuses for why you cannot do it, why you cannot do anything for that matter. You can go out and you can patronize the Asian wig stores and hair product stores. You can go out and get your nails done at Betty Wong's and your toes. You can go out to the Chinese restaurants and eat their food, but they never come to your stores and to your businesses. You never see them come into your own businesses. You can go out and you can support the people from the Middle East in their gas stations buying their fuel, their petroleum. You can go to their convenience stores, but they don't come and reciprocate the same. They don't come and pay homage to your business. You can go to the Jewish stores all around you, gym shoes, clothing, what have you, supermarkets, it doesn't matter. But if you have a store in your community or anywhere in your city, they don't come and support you. Something's wrong with that picture. So one of the other things that you need to do is to start buying black. It's a change. You may not in your neighborhood have a store right across the street from you or a couple blocks away from you. You might have to drive a mile or two to go to a black store. But do it. And when you go to support black businesses, you let them know where your mind and your heart is concerning why you are there to support them. Develop a relationship with them. Okay? so that you have a like mind. Let them know that you understand the climate in which we are all living today, whether it be Donald Trump in office or someone else. Start saving your money. And eventually, hopefully, sooner than later, you need to start investing in gold, because our economy is going to crash if you haven't heard it already. That's because most people are so busy watching the Housewives of New York and Beverly Hills and all of these other places, as opposed to, and excuse me, I left something out, and watching Maury Povich and Steve Wilkos and these types of shows, as opposed to watching what's going on in the world. But the stock market is not doing too well. And what you watch on your regular TV programming, listen to the last word, programming. You're being programmed. You're only going to get the information that they want you to have, okay? The real deal is being hidden from you. I don't mean to rant on and rant on and rant on about this. I hope you get the point. I hope you get the picture, black people. You also, before January gets in here, real good, before Donald raises his hands, we don't know what's going to happen with your Second Amendment rights. We absolutely do not know that. I would advise you to buy a firearm or 2 or 3, because they don't want black people to own firearms to protect themselves. They want you to be helpless and hopeless. This might sound very difficult to swallow. It might be very difficult to swallow for some, but it's the truth, as they say in church, anyhow. Okay? You need to try to, if you possibly can, align yourself with other like-minded people that are pushing towards independence, being your own boss, opening your own business, as opposed to relying on the white powers that be. Okay? Another thing you might want to learn to do also, that when the weather is good, if you have a piece of land, be it separate from where you live or even on the property in which you live or inhabit, you might want to pick you a plot out in your land and build you a garden. Of course, it's easy to drive to the grocery store, to Kroger's or what have you, and buy that. But what are you going to do if that fails? Learn to do for yourselves. Learn to provide for yourselves. Now, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to leave. And you can comment in the comment section below. Understand this. You are an individual. I am an individual. We're all individuals. Why is it that all of the corporations, all of the companies and the businesses are providing 100% of everything that we need? Oh, wait a second. Did you understand what I said? I'm going to say it again. I'm going to ask the question again. Why is it, maybe I'm going to say it a little bit different. Why is it that we allow all of the major corporations to provide every service to us that we need and that we use, and we do nothing for ourselves? Now, I know if your house is on fire, you're going to call the fire department. We don't own a fire department. We don't have the equipment at our residence to put out a major fire. But can you at least have a couple fire extinguishers in your home? If you catch it in time, put it out. That's being proactive. I know someone's trying to break in your home, or you're having a problem with someone trying to accost you. You can call it domestic violence or whatever, an old boyfriend or a disgruntled divorced husband from you ladies, or whatever the case is, and you have to call the police. Why call the police when you can learn gun safety, and gun protection. Learn self-defense. Learn how to fire a gun, buy your own gun, go and get your state regulated classes and get your license, your CCW license, so that you can protect yourself and have confidence. Have you thought about that? It will save you a whole lot of phone calls to the police department. Makes sense, huh? That's two things you could do. Oh, I know it's late at night and you ran out of some bread, ran out of some broccoli, you ran out of some carrots. Just some rough examples. So you have to bundle up yourself and maybe take out some small children with you and scurry on down to the grocery store to get those last minute things or the things that you ran out of. But you know what? Maybe if you had that garden and maybe if you stocked up food, paying attention to the dates on the packages and so forth, and maybe if you learned how to can food for yourselves, maybe if you learn how to store water in a food container that's designed specifically for that, you would have extra water. You wouldn't have to buy bottled water all the time, which most of it contains chemicals in the plastic, BHP. Did I say that right? BPH, bisphenol A. Okay. So you want to try to do as much as you possibly can for yourself. No industry, no corporation should do 100% of everything for other people. What are you doing for yourself? You have to learn to do as much for yourselves, as you possibly can, and not rely so much on the government, either federal, state, or local. Learn to be independent, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm saying to you. Now, before I close for real this time, there are going to be some black folks, that is, that are going to not like what I'm saying. Those are your, excuse my expression, house Negroes. Those are the ones that love white supremacists, and they would support the white supremacist movement and mindset and ideology until the day they die, because they are benefiting from it, as opposed to standing on their own 2 feet and being their own person. They'd rather use the system because the system is benefiting them on some level. So any black person that's saying anything that's conscious, or saying anything that makes sense, or anything that's going to help elevate the thinking of the majority of us, they try to vilify that individual. They try to extricate that guy or that woman. They try to put you in a situation where you sound crazy when you really don't sound crazy. You just make sense. But they don't want to hear sense because they'd rather, how should I say, reap the benefits of their massa, if you will, than to be their own person. These are fake Negroes. These are fake black people, even though their skin says something different. Okay? That was all I had to say in this segment. And as I said before, if you have any comments, and I'm sure you probably do, please leave them in the comment section below and I will respond to them expeditiously. This is Brother Teacher. I will see you